If you find yourself questioning whether you're on the right path, prepare for a journey that may not be filled with comfort. Unlike the familiar ease of the status quo, this path can feel like navigating through fire, enduring silence, facing rejection, and weathering storms. This journey symbolizes the transformation of a man who has burned the bridges to his former self and is consciously constructing a new identity, piece by piece, decision by decision, and principle by principle. Many mistakenly believe that the right path is decorated with accolades and applause. In truth, it is often marked by trials and testing. Most individuals remain ignorant of their true path because they seek validation from external sources. They look for signs, desperate for confirmation and assurance from others that they are indeed headed in the right direction. However, a man of purpose does not rely on external validation. He seeks guidance from within. The signs of progress are not freely given. They are earned through introspection and are often inscribed in silence, solitude, and the profound conflict between who you were and who you are striving to become. When I first embarked on the journey that would alter my life, I did not receive celebration. Rather, I felt the heat of fire. There was no applause, only skepticism, both from those around me and from my own inner critic. Despite this, I continued to forge ahead. As I did, the signs of progress began to manifest, not from the external world, but from the results of my efforts, from the rhythm of my actions, and from how my own soul responded to discipline. This internal compass is all that a man with a purposeful direction truly requires. I now present to you 7 unmistakable signs that will challenge your self-perception rather than flatter it. If you can recognize these signs, if you feel them resonating within you, and if you are actively living in accordance with them, then you are neither lost nor failing. You are on the right path. Do not look back. Do not hesitate. Do not seek softer terrain. Instead, request the strength of resilient legs and the clarity of sharper thoughts. These signs have been unveiled through the lives of extraordinary men who have changed the course of history. Edison, who illuminated the world; Ford, who revolutionized transportation; Carnegie, who erected sturdy foundations; Lincoln, who guided a nation; Rockefeller, who fueled economies; Schwab, who seized initiative. My own journey has confirmed these signs through the fires of repetition, obedience, and the voice of infinite intelligence that resonates not with the aimless, but with the directed. You may feel exhaustion, doubt, or temptation to retreat into the comforts of conformity. But I urge you to listen intently. If you recognize your life in the signs I am about to reveal, you must persist on your course. You must delve deeper, sharpen your focus, and continue your ascent, not hesitantly, but with unwavering certainty. Let us begin with the first sign. You no longer crave approval. You do not seek applause or recognition. You do not shrink in the absence of an audience. This marks the first indication of your transformation. You are now walking in accordance with principle and law, becoming formidable in your independence. This represents a shift in power. You no longer depend on external validation. You are not acting out of disdain for the crowd, but are now liberated from its grasp. Most individuals dance to the tune of borrowed certainty, moving only when others dictate they should, retracting when judged adversely, and advancing with praise. This is not the right path. It is the meandering way of drifters, puppets manipulated by unseen strings. The man truly on the right path is guided by his conscience, unperturbed by accolades. He yields to an internal voice that speaks so profoundly that silence itself becomes validation. In my previous life, I lived reactively, moving with the crowd and altering my course based on their opinions. But the moment I decided to embrace purpose, I began to experience a fracture between myself and the crowd. A fracture that widened into a canyon, leading me to a place of isolation, no longer cheered or understood. Yet, in that solitude, I moved more purposefully, more clearly, more robustly. This is the undeniable truth. Approval can be intoxicating. It may initially taste sweet, but it ultimately poisons the soul. It can transform conviction into performance, bending the fire within into the shapes expected by the masses. The man who relies on the approval of others will falter when faced with a journey that demands solitude, sacrifice, and silent obedience. You may currently be feeling the discomfort of unrecognition, the unease of misunderstanding, the sting of estrangement as you grow. Embrace it. This is confirmation. The correct path narrows your circle. It nullifies the need for agreement and strips away the applause that fills your spirit until all that sustains you are your choices, your voice, and your principles. Consider Abraham Lincoln. He was misunderstood by many, opposed even by some of his closest aides, ridiculed by the press, maligned by political adversaries, and doubted by military leaders. Nevertheless, he pressed forward, not with arrogance, but with quiet resolve, not waiting for endorsement, but propelled by his certainty. Had Lincoln waited for approval, the Union he fought to preserve would have collapsed. If Carnegie had sought praise, he would have remained a mere delivery boy. If Edison had waited for others to believe in his vision for electric light, the world would still shrouded in darkness. Every man who has carved out his future has at some point abandoned the comforts of being understood. Can you act without applause? Can you pursue your goals even when silence surrounds you? Can you ascend when all you hear is skepticism? If the answer is yes, then you are not weak. You are not lost. You are rising. Every soul that turns away from you is not rejecting you. It is a testament that you no longer belong to the common rhythm. You have attuned yourself to a higher frequency. Affirm this: I no longer wait for recognition. I act because I'm guided by purpose, not applause. Repeat it until your craving for approval fades. Speak these words until your spirit no longer looks back. Speak them until your movements become autonomous, until your words carry significance, not because they seek acceptance, but because they uphold your principles. Understand this: the approval of others may sometimes signify conformity rather than alignment. If they cheer, it could mean you are perfectly comfortable in their eyes. But a man of power is not here to comfort. He is here to ascend, and ascent often disturbs those who are content to remain settled. Be willing to disturb. Be willing to experience solitude. Isolation isn't punishment. It's a sanctuary for creators. It's where vision flourishes, where repetition flows without interruption, and where the inner voice resonates louder than any external clatter. The masses need mirrors to recognize themselves. The master only requires obedience to his own established laws. He does not inquire, "Do they see me?" Instead, he asks, "Have I fulfilled my purpose today?" There will be a time in your journey when all voices will fall silent. You will no longer be lauded or scrutinized. You will not be under watchful eyes. At first, this may seem like a death to your ego, but in reality, it is the birth of your authentic self, formed not by the crowd's approval, but forged through persistence and fire. As tempting as it may be to dilute your law or soften your words for acceptance, I warn you, the price of visibility often comes at the cost of your true purpose. The pursuit of being liked can lead to the obliteration of your inner laws. Do not exchange the eternal for fleeting praise. Do not trade the assent for compliments. You are not here to seek approval. You are here to evolve. You have begun to walk without seeking out faces. That is the first sign. You have started to operate without awaiting applause. That is the first sign. You have declared, "I know who I am," even if no one acknowledges it. That is the first sign. You are shedding the identity of a beggar and embracing the role of a builder. True builders do not seek acknowledgement. They construct to serve their laws. You may be branded as proud or distant, but know that those who label you this way only perceive your exterior. They cannot comprehend the fervor that burns within. They do not hear the call you respond to. They do not feel the weight of purpose that drives you onward. Forgive them. Leave them behind. Keep climbing. Repeat after me. I act because I am driven by purpose, not applause. I obey the laws I have written for myself. I persist, irrespective of whether they take notice. I am here to build, not to be seen. This is your new identity, unseen but steadfast, obedient to a vision, indifferent to praise, and relentless in purpose. You are no longer the man who hesitates in the absence of validation. You are the architect of your own destiny. This is not a burden. It is an evolution. Every builder must endure this trial. You may feel alone for a period. You may face skepticism during the journey. But if you remain steadfast, if you honor your purpose, if you heed your inner voice, you will become something that the crowd can no longer overlook. Although by then, their recognition will be irrelevant, for you will already be whole. The second sign that indicates you are on the right path is that you wake up with urgency, not confusion. You no longer greet the dawn enveloped in fog. Instead, you rise with intention. You awaken with a sense of command and a fiery determination. You no longer drift aimlessly in the morning hours. The night before, you have given your mind directives, and a mind that receives clear instructions before sleep awakens primed for action. This is the principle of directed consciousness. The drifting individual opens their eyes and waits to feel prepared, whereas the purposeful person rises ready to act, not out of emotion, but in accordance with a predetermined rhythm. They declare their intentions for the day, consulting not their mood, but their written objectives. They do not seek permission. They obey the commands they assigned the night before. When I began to delve into the workings of the subconscious mind, I recognized its unwavering obedience. It will respond to whatever input it receives. Plant seeds of fear, and fear will flourish. Plant seeds of vision, and discipline will blossom. The hour before sleep is when the gates of the subconscious are most ajar. The soil within is ripe for cultivation, either for your downfall or your destiny. Most people sow worry. Builders instead plant laws. As you lie down to rest, avoid asking idle questions of your mind. Instead, impart clear instructions. Tomorrow, I will take decisive actions towards my goals. Tomorrow, I will proceed with confidence. Tomorrow, I will communicate with clarity. Tomorrow, I will uphold my law. Write your primary objectives down, review them, and close your eyes with purpose. When your last thought is one of intent, sleep transforms into a tool for manifestation. Upon waking, resist the urge to reach for distractions or inundate yourself with noise. Avoid scrolling through social media. and comparing yourself to others. The only temperature that matters is the fire of ambition burning within you. The world will announce itself soon enough, but you must assert your own voice first. Recite your objectives, move your body, revisit your plans, and engage in decisive action without delay. I rise early, not because it is a trend, but because it is an act of sovereignty. The early morning hours, when the mind is unspoiled and the world is quiet, are the moments when one's will is most potent. It is the hour for builders, a time when law takes shape. If you fail to capitalize on this hour, you do not initiate the day. Instead, you respond to it. Those who simply react are always late, always feeble, always left waiting. Say this with me: I rise with urgency. My day obeys my plan. I do not hesitate, I direct. Let this truth resonate within you, filling your every fiber with conviction. Allow it to replace the old, aimless patterns of existence. Let it ignite the power of resolve to act. You awaken not to drift, but to dominate, not merely to survive, but to construct and fulfill the directives you laid out for yourself the night before. Beware that the world remains indifferent to whether you commence with purpose or confusion. It will present itself regardless. Without preparation, it will overwhelm you. The phone will ring, crises will emerge, distractions will proliferate. But the man who has already initiated his task, who has acted, who has adhered to his defined objectives, remains unshaken. He is rooted. If you maintain this pattern, the feelings of aimlessness will diminish. In their place, an unfamiliar feeling will thrive: certainty. The man who possesses certainty does not question his new dawn. He does not dread it. Rather, he confronts it with strength and determination. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. Ford was known to maintain a meticulous schedule for each step of production, reviewing it each morning. He did not wonder what action to take. He executed what had already been declared. His assembly line was not merely mechanical, it was mental. That same structure is available to any person willing to define their own orders and review them on a daily basis. I now impart this guidance to you. Each night before you sleep, write down your objectives. Document your actions. Review your plans. Affirm your intentions aloud, and visualize their execution. Then, each morning, upon waking, hydrate, move, read your objectives, and immediately act upon one task. This is the rhythm. This is the law. This is the framework of masters. You refuse to negotiate with the day ahead. You are on the right path if your feet touch the ground before doubt can voice its objections. You are on the right path if the first sound you hear is your voice affirming your purpose. That is how you recognize your journey. That is how you ascertain your progress. And even when fatigue creeps in, when the bed calls for just a few more moments, when your body resists your ambitions, remember, you are building a life directed by purpose, not dictated by the applause of the crowd or the expectations of others. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to stay updated with more motivational content. Like, share, and comment to support our work and spread the message.